Welcome, guys, to another episode of the YepBoat Podcast. Today, I have another special guest. I mean, you guys can read the title and check the thumbnail. Nicholena, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello. Hey, everyone. Hey, Ben. It is so awesome to be here. Finally, I know we tried to make this work with our schedules a couple times, but mostly, I mean, it was my fault, but we weren't able to. But it's nice to finally be on the YepBoat Podcast.
Yeah, and time zones can be rough. But
yeah,
finally, you're here.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about Quilboars, the nerfs, new heroes, the meta, tournaments a little bit, and at the end also about the MMR reset. Gonna touch it. So anyway, Nicholena, what do you think of Quilboars? The most basic question.
Big question too, really.
Yeah, it's
Well,
very
gosh.
broad. Like the tribe as a
See,
whole.
if you'd, yeah. Okay. Well, if you'd asked me pre-nerf, I would have said insanely overpowered. Agree with everything you said in your video before the nerfs. By the way, I watched it, and they were just way too strong. It was a good watch. The video was over before I knew it. I was like, oh man, that's it. I wanted some more Quilboar content. So
for the record, Nicholena also makes videos, for example, on the updates. So I mean, everything is down below in the description. But yeah, okay, continue.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I think that after the nerfs, I was actually looking at the stats a little bit yesterday. I haven't played today or anything, but they actually, I think, maybe over nerfed them. But I'm interested to talk to you about what you think about it, because it seems like dragons are back at the top.
Yeah, it's interesting. I thought the nerfs are very interesting, but also like before Quilboars were released, like when you first saw them and the idea of blood gems, what did you think of like the tribe? Like your initial thought was this gonna be, because I thought it was a really cool concept, blood gems, but it turns out that it is almost too flexible, or it was too flexible, right? And it had too many applications. But I don't know if you had any initial
well, yeah, initially looking at it, it was hard to tell just how easy the blood gems were going to be to access and to generate on a turn by turn basis. So as an engine, like I just wasn't sure if it would be able to like sustain itself. Since you really need to have a gem generator on your team.
Exactly.
But it turned out that those cards were just way too good. And I think it's definitely an interesting mechanic. I'm excited for it because I hope that we get to see more different mechanics like that in the future.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you get bored just playing like buff, +2/+2 +1 to your whole team. So it's cool to see a different way to scale your team other than just your standard buffs that you have.
I was also very surprised because like it's kind of hard to come up with new interesting things for Battlegrounds, right? There's only so much you can do to like scale up units like Battle Cry, Divine Shield, Death Rattle, stuff like that. So I was very like interested in the blood gem mechanic, but also scared because of hand space. And well, we saw that was in fact an issue. But
yeah, I had such a fail. I think I made a YouTube short and TikTok of this clip because it was funny, but I was Ticketus and I had a golden bonker pre-nerf. You know, he gave 2 gems to your hand every time, and he was massive. And so at the end of my turn, going into like one of the, I don't know, turn 12 or something, I think, getting the 3rd ticket, whatever turn that is.
Turn 12?
Yeah, turn 12. Yeah, that's it. Okay, but yeah, I was getting that, and I picked Ice Block, and I had a full hand because you don't get time before.
Oh, you burned it?
Yeah, before the ticket, you can't play any cards. But I didn't even think about that. I mean, if I did, obviously I would have known, but actually I couldn't get any of the options in the end because they all would have gone to my hand.
Yeah.
But either way, yeah, the block got burned. It was sad.
I've had issues as well with like flat discs on the board that just gives you so much in hand, and then I wanted to buy something in the shop, like the boar, I think, to buff the gems in my hand, but my hand was full, so I had to play some gems first and then waste buffs. It's so stupid. But
yeah, also I spend so much more time on that turn because I'm paranoid so I'm like always checking my hand to be like, oh, how many, or checking the flat tusk, how many rolls are on this one, or if I have two of them on
Yeah.
board, like I can roll once with this one, I get 1 gem to my hand, but then I've got to play 2
Mhm.
gems before I roll again or
Playing
whatever.
optimally is so hard. Like playing,
Yeah,
knowing how to order everything can be so confusing.
you just don't have that much time, right?
Imagine playing on mobile. I'm not a mobile player, so I don't know the struggles, but I feel like you could get a heart attack very easily.
I play on my iPad all the time, actually, and yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I've heard
Not gonna say
iPad
that I'm great at it.
is easier than mobile. Is it like the layout is
Probably.
different? I don't know. I
It's
haven't
just
played
bigger
it.
screen, I think. So it's well, I think on mobile you have to like click to open up your hand, and then you have to click the card from
Oh
your
yeah,
hand to
that's a
the
big
board. And yeah,
downside. Yeah.
no, I wouldn't even try.
And the nerfs. So yeah, you said you thought they over nerfed. I remember looking at the nerfs first, and I was like, yeah, this isn't enough. Like the Quilboars still have a lot of health, and the bonkers just -1 attack doesn't matter. Turns out it was quite a big nerf. Yeah. Like, I
I
don't know.
kind of thought the same too. I didn't think that it would impact their playability as much as it seems like it did. I mean, just by looking at the stats, I know it hasn't been a lot of time, but they're now one of the bottom 3 or bottom 2 comps. Like demons have a higher win rate right now.
It's kind of nutty. I
Yeah.
know there's people gonna put in the comments, no, Quilboars are still broken. Like I've had two kind of comments on that video. Quilboars are broken and nerfs were not enough. That was stupid. And people that said they over nerfed and killed Quilboars. There's like no one that said the in between. Like yeah, sure, this was fine. And I think it's fine. Like Quilboars early game got a bit worse. They're still like I still got smacked by the brutes on tier 3 and banner boars.
Yeah.
Like those are still really oppressive if they high roll. And Agam, I think the best late game is like Agam Menagerie stuff with Flat Tusk now instead of the Sharlga. But
Yeah. Yeah, Sharga is definitely not the game saver that it was.
oh, it was so stupid.
It is quite a bit worse now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm definitely glad because that hurts the power spike 6-drop, like 6-drop heroes, which were just obviously way too strong. But
Yeah, I still see a lot of people with endgame Quilboar boards though, but they're not as like they can be at scale by dragons, which is what you, for example, said that dragons are still playable. I think almost everything is playable right now, or most things.
yeah, I think so too. I think every tribe I'm trying to think right now has at least one end game comp that they can do, whether it's like Scallywag Pirates
I mean,
or
demons.
it's
What do demons do? They have like.
oh yeah.
I mean, big demons with selfless. In the end, I think half
Yeah.
your demon board is going to be sold for spores and maximals anyway.
Yeah.
But
They're definitely, I think so too. Yeah, you want to probably change into the Divine Shield and add some poisons, but they can definitely get you through the mid game now, where I think before it was really tough to even do that with demons.
Yeah, especially since there was so much pressure, you just took too much damage, and well, so I think the nerfs were decent. I don't know. Would you change anything about the nerfs? Like revert the nerf or do different nerfs or?
Oh man, I think that. I mean, I only played yesterday on the nerfs because the day after the tournament, which you said we're going to talk about later, but I took the day off because I had to distance myself from Battlegrounds a little bit that day. But
respectable.
Yeah, so I did play yesterday though, and I think that just initially the nerf to the tier 2 board that's now a 1/4, that one felt like a bit too much. I think
the one attack, yeah.
1/4, yeah, I went from what 2/5 or
yeah, from 2/4 to 1. I thought it was not gonna be that big.
huge.
I was like, that doesn't matter the one attack, right? But apparently it does.
One attack is so bad.
Yeah,
it makes a guy, if you don't have a gem to play on him already, just so bad. And I don't like seeing another really terrible 2-drop because I think that it's hard to come back in the game if your initial couple stores on Tavern 2 are really bad.
Yeah, the other guy on tier 2 though, the what was it called? Dogdog, I think.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't touch that. It's a 4/3.
Yeah.
And if you put like it's so bullshit, but yeah.
I
guess
agree. I think that was one of the strongest boars too, right? Like it's like the strongest card on 2.
It's the only Divine Shield on tier 2, yeah, and it's so busted. If you hit one gem, it's like a 5/4 with Divine Shield. Like Jesus Christ, man. But I had the board, the one that they did to 1/4, I would have done it to like a 2/3, like nerf the health, so it's less likely to get a frenzy, but it can still trade properly.
Yeah. I
And
think
Agam.
so.
I think Agam should have been nerfed. It's just a better light
Really?
thing, right? Yeah. I've seen a lot of people in higher ranks just post screenshots of their Agam menagerie boards. They triple into flat tusk with Agam, and that's their end game, and then they just win. Seems like Quilboar menagerie is now better than just general Quilboars.
Yeah,
Although
which
I haven't played too much myself either. I've been pretty busy, but it seems like the menagerie Quilboar stuff is just stronger than the full Quilboar stuff, which before the nerfs it was not the case.
yeah, right before the nerfs, and when I did my first look at them, that's what I expected, like the pure Quilboar to be much better than the
Mm-hmm.
menagerie one. But I guess I haven't really changed my mindset because well, that doesn't mean that I won't though. I probably just need to try it out a little bit, but I feel like it can be tough because of board space. So like this is just how I'm like picturing it. Again, I actually haven't tried it in practice at all, but so you have Agam, that's your
Mm-hmm.
board. And then to get full use out of him, you have to have, at least how many other minion types would you say you need? Like 3, 4?
Yeah, at least three, I would say. I mean, it's a minion type in itself as well, right? So like 2 or 3, yeah.
Right, yeah, because you have Agam and he's a Quilboar, but then
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna need to have another Quilboar because you need to generate the gems.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which, as you said, the 6 drop, the 9/6,
Yeah, flat tusk.
yeah, which
That's
would
the
probably be
best
the
one,
best
I
for
guess.
that.
Yeah.
But it's so late, and like, I feel like if you don't get that or you can't get that, then it's really hard to consistently get all the gems you need to keep buffing Agam.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I thought it as
Um,
well. That was also super hard to set up for, but I've seen
yeah,
people just triple into flat tusk first, and once they have that, they just hard roll
yeah.
into your 5 and set up for menagerie. And then eventually they hit
Mm.
Agam and they just dump all their blood gems and win.
Yeah,
I
I can see
haven't.
that working if you have a few turns to do it.
Yeah,
For
if you have
sure.
the health. I mean, Maiev can
Yeah.
for sure pull it off because it's Maiev, but like I would have seen. I would have liked to see heroes being nerfed. The fact that they didn't ditch Maiev or Jandis, who's still busted with tokens, or hooked us, like that blows my mind. Those are like the
Yeah.
biggest issues in Battlegrounds. I think the difference between the power level of heroes. There's heroes that I never see play because they're so shit.
Right, I agree, and I've I think I made also a video talking about this a little bit. It just feels so bad when you get your selection and you look at the heroes and you're like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh." It's just like you're doomed from the beginning. You're like not looking forward to playing the game. And I think that not only is it unbalanced, it hurts player experience, right? Because it just feels bad if you have to pick like such a bad hero and you get into your game and you see like, oh, here's your Fawn, here's my F, here's
Yeah.
Omu, here's Millhouse, and I'm freaking like, I don't know, curator or something, and you just feel terrible.
Also the matchups, like who you face at what point, right?
Yeah,
Like if you face
that's my
Maiev
biggest
at their
problem.
spike, you're just 30 damage on your head, GG. If you
Mhm.
face someone that,
Yeah.
yeah, an early Omu. That was a big talking point on Twitter with some devs, like talking about damage reduction, how they could maybe fix the
Yeah.
damage issue, because that's like a major issue with Maiev, for example. But yeah,
Mhm.
we'll
Yep.
see what they end up doing. And the new
I have some
heroes.
thoughts on that too, but
Oh, okay. I think I've read them. Did you post them somewhere?
I replied that I think scouting would help, but I
Oh yeah, I saw
also
that, like in TFT, right?
yes, because I don't know why we can't do that. Because even if you're facing Omu, um,
Mm-hmm.
or Maiev, it's like, okay, maybe the person tripled into a 5 drop, but is that 5 drop like or 6 drop? Is it a gas coiler or is it a sneeze or is it a brand or
Uh,
is it a
I think it's
like something
also,
that's not that scary?
yeah, it's somewhat of a skill to guess as well, though, right? Knowing if you should power level take the risk or not, and like Ghoul and Zap. Otherwise, you could always take those deck unit. I think it's like a
I
bit
think
like a double-sided sword, right? It has
I
pros
think
but also
that
cons.
right. I think that however, the skill of time management will replace the skill of guessing, and I'd rather have that skill, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
managing, being able to like deal with my time, than just like being good at guessing. And also, I think especially in the games where like when my Ev pops off, what it's gonna be like 9 gold or something.
Yeah.
And maybe you haven't fought them yet, and you look at their summary and it's like 2 mechs or like 2 murlocs, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't tell anything from that. So I don't think that there's even a way you can make a guess when out of 7 players left, you haven't fought them. You just know that they have 2 murlocs,
Okay,
but
yeah,
the
that's
murloc it
fair.
could be an amalgadon, it could be I don't know.
That's
There's
fair, yeah.
almost not much you can because there's not really a defined set of comps right now. You're not like okay, they have 6 mechs. I know they have a Baron, and I need to get a Zap. But you
Yeah.
often, I feel like, can't tell anything about it.
I feel like that, yeah, late game you have better, like, you can better tell what they are, right? Because you can
Right.
see the tribes and stuff like that. I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, in early game scouting, normally early game scouting shouldn't matter as much because, well, it's early game, you're not gonna die. But the fact that they spike so hard, and even in the
Yeah.
early game, they can deal 30 damage, yeah, that's definitely a major issue.
Yeah,
Which,
so I just think that would help it out. And then also, like, if you don't want to scout, it's just optional. You don't have to. So,
yeah, that's
but
fair.
you know, one
It
thing
would be
that I think,
interesting.
you know, one thing
Mhm.
that I really think would help that I didn't say in that thread or anything, but you know how the fights take so long? The fight animations take forever.
Yeah,
And players have been getting around that and finding ways to get around that
with
since
disconnecting, yeah.
you know, with
Mhm.
disconnect, but you know, most people don't want to do that and we shouldn't have to. But we also don't, like, Hearthstone probably doesn't also want us to be able to skip the fight entirely because it's part of like the charm and the fun of the game. So I think that just by speeding up the animations, like if the fights just went twice as fast, like in TFT, you see the characters and they're like hyper speeding. They're like going very fast during the fight, and the fights don't take as long. So
Or like a
I
button
think
to speed up animations, just like press it and you get twice the speed, something like that.
something like that, or just make it that way by default, because I don't think people need to see it so slow. I think that maybe the dev team is sort of underestimating our ability to comprehend things that move
Yeah.
fast. You know what I mean? Like,
I think a big thing as well
we
is though
can
that
handle it.
the majority of people are like very casual, right? And they don't know like nothing about Battlegrounds. Because I think we had stats on that more than 50% is below 5k that like don't really see what's going on. Because also, if you want to speed up animations, you have to go into the game files and change it manually. Which why?
Is so silly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, that's so
And
stupid.
I mean, I just think that even if a player is casual, it doesn't mean that they can't follow something that moves fast on the screen. Personally,
Yeah.
they could still see the fight, they could see the trades, even if they were twice as fast. It would be fine, I'm pretty sure. People are used to playing fast-paced games now, and our attention spans aren't very long anyway. Personally, when I enter the fight phase, I sometimes like I'll get up and like go to the bathroom or like go to the kitchen. I'm just not even watching it.
Yeah, it would be
I'll look at
interesting
my
to try out
phone.
for sure. Yeah. Because I don't know. I feel like it would bring its own issues with it, but you can't know if you don't try, right? Like, I feel like like the Blizzard team, of course, they do a lot of stuff, but they should experiment more with experimental stuff like this. Like, for example, a lot of, I don't know if TFT has a PTR server. Oh, it does?
Yep, it does.
Yeah, I know Overwatch has it as well, where they do like super experimental stuff like this, and people can just give feedback and try it out. I feel like we will need that for Hearthstone. We could try out so many cool things. If they don't work, they don't work. If they do work, nice, we got a better game.
Exactly, I agree.
But yeah.
I think we definitely need a test realm, and I mean, the tournament realm exists with you know, a limited access, so I think that could be done pretty easily. Like it already exists, basically.
The question is why not, right? Like why not?
Right.
I guess we should ask Ixar if he does another AMA, but he does them at like 3 or 4 in the morning for me, so I never get to ask.
I always see it like 7 hours later too.
Yeah, baby hands. I'll set an alarm next time. Anyway, so the new heroes, have you gotten to try them as well, or?
I have tried all of them by now, yeah. Finally. Like the first day I didn't get to.
Yeah,
always happens.
Dude, I played 20 hours and I never got off Xyrella. That hurts.
Yeah, it's I don't know why they do that.
Right. So
There's too many heroes.
Yeah, that's true. There's too many heroes.
Thing.
I don't know why they didn't like take out heroes and never see any play. When introducing new heroes, it's kind of stupid. But yeah, what are your initial thoughts on the heroes so far?
Okay, so I expected Vol'jin to be really good, and
yeah, everyone, I think
it's not. So
it's weird.
The stats reflect that, and I only tried him for like 2 games, and then I was like, no, this is clearly unless there's like some trick.
Yeah, it's very hard to play as well. I underestimated it. I played Vol'jin, I was like, yeah, easy. I just swap with bigger stuff in my shop and I get strong. And then I played him twice. I think both of them were like a 5th and a 4th place. I think he's a very hard hero.
Yeah.
I also thought it was going to be OP, but yeah, I guess not.
I thought it would be a lot better too, so it's not just you.
Okay.
But it turns out, I think part of the reason is maybe because of the 3/3 with the gems. It's like everybody can almost can switch stats now anyway.
Yeah.
So
everyone can be a Vol'jin almost, which is kind of defeats the purpose. And
with
Refereaver,
Xyrella is much better than I thought, and I think that she might be I think she's the best one of the three stats wise, and I kind of agree. The
Uh-huh.
first game I played with her, I won, and it was like pretty smooth sailing. It's just turns out to be so useful. I don't even know why. Like I still don't
Yeah,
really. I'm not even
it seems
sure.
so weird to me, right? Like I saw the hero and I thought it was gonna be garbage. I kept saying it. I tried hero
Yeah,
and yeah, she was okay. And I don't understand why, because the hero power is kind of worse than Yogg, even though it's not random. You
yeah,
lose out on stats early on.
yeah.
Late game, it's like a worse Stormu, because Stormu gets the 1 gold for a free roll anyway, and you get 1 gold by hero powering, but you're reduced. Like it just doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense on paper, but I think it's like a lot of it, a lot of like plays that I did that like really worked out and like hurt, like
Mm-hmm.
punish my opponents a lot. Where when I would be able to level and but the gold works out so much better to get a triple or get a minion on an early turn. Like
Yeah.
this is super lucky, I know, but in the first game that I won, I did like level for 4 to Tavern 3, rolled 1, and then got a bronze warden from the hero power. And I realized that that's probably
Yeah,
ideal,
that's pretty
but
sick, yeah.
it was really good, and that just set me up for the rest of the game to just like keep the train rolling.
Yeah, I
But I
remember
also
my
think it's sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I remember my second Cinderella game something along those lines as well.
Yeah. I was gonna say one thing it's super good with, which I mean, it's not even that big of a deal when you say it, but in practice, it's really nice. You get a faceless guy for 2,
yeah,
or you just get the 3/3 pirate, the
like
gold pirate for
the
2,
money
and make
sometimes,
a
right? Yeah, but if you compare it to
yeah.
other heroes, it just seems weird.
I
Like, other
know.
heroes can get money in so many different. It's so
I
weird.
know.
But I also remember
I don't know.
my first Cinderella. That was also one of my first games with her, I think. I also got a bunch of tokens, so you just generate so much money. I did like the Yogg curve where
Mhm.
you stay down an extra turn on tier 1. So on turn 2, I was still tier 1. I found like 3 tokens, then I power level to tier 5 and did like 2 or 3 triples. And I was like, okay, that's kind of
Mm.
bullshit. I think I high rolled, but I feel like that hero is just good at high rolling.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that for sure. But and then I think the other one would
Black
I
turn.
can't remember Blackthorn. Okay, yeah. I like him, but not with Quilboars worse. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
obviously a lot worse as well. But when in the first few days, I had a lot of success with him because it was just much easier for me to force the Quilboars. Since I already had the gems from it
Yeah,
was just easier.
I
You could
feel
get the
like
effects of
he's
the Quilboars immediately.
yeah, I felt like he's like middle of the pack, right? Like he's okay. I guess you got
Mhm.
some blood gems, sure. And right now it's
Yeah.
definitely worse. But I've seen people power level straight to tier 5 with him and just put all the gems on like 1 unit to not die. Maybe that's a cool strategy that I still
Hmm.
need to try. But yeah.
Yeah.
And the meta. Let's talk about the meta. I don't know if you've played much since patch because you said after you took a day off after the tournament. But have
Yeah,
you?
I probably just played for like 8 hours yesterday.
Still quite a lot.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the state of Battlegrounds right now?
Um,
Like how it's
man.
changed and evolved since before the nerfs.
Oh gosh. One thing that I was talking about on my stream yesterday that I noticed I think is super impactful in a subtle way
Mm-hmm.
is the gems, even now that they were nerfed, but still, it often makes fights so strange. Like, I feel like messes up, it screws with the balance between the stats of the minions, and it often ends up to me, I feel much more than it did prior to the Quilboars, that when I'm in a fight, the trades have so much more potential to go poorly, and I'll have my opponent ends up with a board of like minions with 1 or 2 health left. And then I take 13, 15 damage when it was like I could have just, if my minions would have just killed one of those minions, but they had like one more
Oh,
stat on them or something. You know what I
that
mean?
that could
And
be a thing because the like low tier
yeah.
Quilboars were nerfed, so people play less the low tier Quilboars for more high tier units. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Like that, the Quilboar
Yeah.
comps now consist of more high star units than low stars. I think we've seen that before in the past as well, where like stuff was nerfed to tier 6 or tier 5, and then people just started taking more damage because people had
Yeah.
to pick expensive stuff.
But I think also in the early game, like if they bought the 3/1 on turn 1 or the 1/2 that gives you 2 gems when you sell it, I'm terrible at card names, sorry. But or the 4/3 that gives you a gem as a battle cry, like it's just like that one stat. It just
Yeah.
seems to be making a big difference in the trades that happen. I feel like
Oh.
whenever I lose the fight, it's because they all have 1 health left. But that just ends up being so much damage. instead of just leaving 2 minions alive, I left the whole board alive with 1 health each.
Okay, that kind of sucks.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, of course, that's always happened. But I feel like it's just happening so often now.
Yeah, I feel like it got more tempo-ish as well, right? That the meta shifted more to a tempo meta compared to the previous one. Because, I don't know why. I guess because early Quilboars are worse? Or because Sharkla got worse, tier 6 got worse? No, people said tier 6 got better compared to tier 5. Like that you triple into 4s and 6s more than tier 5 units. But I don't see why.
I think before the nerf, I think that was working better. I mean, it was working better for me too.
Yeah, before
like,
the nerf, but after the nerf.
I don't know. I guess I haven't noticed quite as much, but
I guess I gotta try more as well. Because of Agam mainly, I feel like tier 5 was not touched at all. We also got Bristleback Knight still on tier 5, right? And Brennan Lightfang got better. I guess maybe because Kaligos is now better on tier 6 again, and Ulreg is still there, I guess.
Yeah, but the 4s got worse. So I think tripling into 4s now is worse again.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although I feel like the nerf on what's it called, Bonker was not enough. I feel like just moving, sure, like Bonker is now fine because the early Quilboars are a lot worse. Like it doesn't snowball as much anymore. But from 4 attack to 3 attack, I don't know what they're thinking. What's their logic? Right? Because all the value is in the value trait. Like the fact that it doesn't die with the 7 HP didn't change.
Yeah.
Like you get the same
amount
of
blood gems. I think the HP is more important too.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand some of their logic behind some nerfs, but it seems to have worked, so I'm not gonna question it. I'm not part of the design team.
I mean, I think power spikes are core to this philosophy. So they still want there to be a card on 4 that gives that potential.
Yeah. Oh, but power spikes this meta, Jesus. I feel like the big thing this meta is also the hero difference, right? Like if you get a Maiev and a Rafam and they spike, you take so much damage, like as we said in the beginning, but I feel like this meta especially, that's so much reinforced compared to the previous one.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess all we can do is sit back and wait and pray and spam people on Twitter.
Yeah, but I'm not sure, however, if that's a problem that is going to ever be solved or if it is going to continue to escalate more in that direction or if they feel they've hit the sweet spot. I guess I would ask them that. If they do they feel this is a good amount of variance
of high roll and stuff,
at high roll, or would they like to scale it back, or do they want more even?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, I guess we will see if there's more nerfs and buffs, right? And then we can kind of guess what direction they want to take it. But like the super...
we also... Sorry, I was gonna say also we should get a mini set like at some point, right?
For Battlegrounds?
Yeah, don't we usually get the major set and then a mini set? But
wait, which one did we get lost? Wait, was it the taunt stuff?
I think so.
Ooh, that turned, I think, I was about to say the taunt meta, that was a very tempo heavy meta where power spiking wasn't really allowed because you just died if you leveled to tier 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Which was like the other extreme of the spectrum. Like Maiev had to stay down and couldn't power level or they died to do all the tempo.
Right. Yeah.
I had fun in that meta because I like playing for tempo, but I guess that's just a me thing.
No, I agree. I dislike the power spike metas, so I'm hoping their feeling is that maybe it's a little too much right now.
Yeah, I hope that as well. But I guess we will see. Sometimes they do, wait, with elementals, I think they did a very early nerf, and then a couple of weeks later, they did like a proper full-on rework, right?
Yeah, well, they made some nerfs, and then they kind of dialed them back a little bit, right?
Yeah, that could have been the case. Oh, I hope they don't do it this time.
Yeah, I don't know. They might decide, though, that the Quilboars power level is too low now, and
I would not be surprised. I feel like they should change Agam then, and then like if they dial stuff back up, because otherwise, yeah, I'm scared.
It's a 5-drop 3/6. It is weird when you think about that. It's worse than stats than Bonker, but
yeah, true it is. But compared to Lightfang, like Lightfang is a 2/2 that only gives +2/+2 a turn. Well, that thing can give like +5/+5 a turn. It's kind of nuts. Anyway, well, let's move on to tournaments, and well, let's start at the Battlegrounds Brawl. I saw your tweet. I'm gonna put it on screen for the people that didn't see it. I'm not gonna mock you too much. But what do you think of how they handled like the Brawl? Because we don't get too many tournaments for Battlegrounds, right?
Yeah, we really don't. By the way, I run tournaments, Ben, as you know, and you've
Hmm.
played in a few. I do one like every other week. I've run
Exactly.
8 so
Go
far.
check it out.
Just yeah, for Ben's audience, if y'all want to compete, they actually are real competitive, aren't they? You can say.
Yeah, there's some like high level players in there for sure.
Mhm.
And I can say I won one and I got second place in other tournaments, so I'm happy with
Yeah,
my performance. Yeah,
definitely impressive.
I feel
Okay,
like
so hmm?
there's a lot of like tournaments, but they're all organized by the community, right? Like for example,
Yeah,
you do a lot of community tournaments, which is very good because we need more. And I know a lot of like small Discord channels also do like small tournaments. But where's the
yeah, they
big
don't
ones?
advertise them very much though. Like
Yeah,
I,
there's
I,
like
I don't even know
community
those are happening.
tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But okay, so the big tournaments, I mean, obviously there's no like competitive scene, and these tournaments are really to just bring publicity to the
mhm.
game and like I don't have a fun experience for people, a fun viewing experience. And so they've been doing teams, which
It was fun to watch.
I think is okay. Teams. I did do one duos tournament, which you won with Swiss guy,
True.
but it's also I think if you are gonna do teams,
It's
I
like
felt
less
the teams for
competitive,
this
right?
last one. Yeah, it's not. You can't really like treat it as competitively for sure
Hmm.
because for the Blizzard tournament specifically, I mean the teams are random, and we only found out about them a few days before the event, and
Sometimes I guess you have to connect with everyone, right? Like if you don't know the people in
yeah,
your team, it's a bit
right.
like
It
you're not
was
at the
weird.
same wavelengths.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, I know Luna and Simi. I invited them to the F2K Battlegrounds tournament, but
Hmm.
I mean, we didn't like communicate much or talk much or anything like that, and certainly have never co-opted. And I mean, Krip is Krip. Krip is up there on like the pedestal of Hearthstone streamers. And it's like you
Hmm.
don't it's definitely intimidating to be like reaching out to Krip. You know what I
Yeah, yeah,
mean?
yeah. And it's very different to try and like have it at something like a team. I don't know, team discussions going on.
Right. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was my first time ever talking to Krip during the tournament, during the first game
that's hype
ever.
though.
Our first conversation ever. Yeah, so no, he was super nice, but because of that, well, first of all, I feel like the structure of the teams, I don't know how it was made, but there was a range of um I don't want to say skill, I guess, but I don't know what else to say, like an MMR range to the participants, right? Naturally,
Yeah.
since it was a streamer tournament. And I mean, some teams, if you looked at their collective MMR, would be like 2 and 3 times the collective MMR of some of the other teams. Which is also I don't know how they would deal with that. I feel like maybe spreading it out a little bit more
Yeah, I
would
wonder
be
how
good.
they went about it, right? They must have had a reason to like construct certain teams.
It could have also been random too.
Or
I mean, who
viewer
knows?
basis maybe, because I guess your viewers kind of start overlapping if you because you're on the other
Mhm.
stream, right? Like you're on the stream of whoever is in your team. Maybe there was some marketing decision there. We don't know, right? We don't have the insight,
Yeah,
you know.
I have no idea, but I did feel that there was a bit of imbalance between the team MMRs, like the
Yeah.
total.
I just yeah,
Um,
I agree
but
that's less
also,
competitive because
yeah,
if you a competitive tournament should be solo because there's just your skill that you
yeah,
get rewarded for. But I that was not the point, right, of the tournament.
no, no, exactly. So that is what it is.
Hmm.
But it kind of creates for us or for me, it created a circumstance where I was just not feeling. I was feeling very worried, because I'm not like the greatest player, and like
I mean, you're up there, right?
I'm alright, like, but I'm not, top 10
So
leaderboard like,
humble.
some people are, right?
Hmm.
But so I was feeling intimidated by the levels that some of the other teams were. Personally, I can't speak for other people on other teams or anything, but also like the teammate communication, it was so important. After a couple rounds, I just realized like there's no way we can compete with the other teams in this lobby that are communicating effectively with each other, because the your ability to just orchestrate, like to collaborate, to time power spikes and things like that,
Hmm.
versus other players, and that's really vital to the structure, the
Yeah, there
team
was a lot
structure.
of tactics and strategy involved when I was
Oh
watching.
yeah. So, and like for the situation that happened with my team was that, well, Simi's in EU, so our and the other three of us actually don't know where Krip is, but I don't know if he
I
lives
have
in
no idea
Canada.
either.
It might be Canada. I don't know. But she was in EU, and that was difficult because we had like pretty different schedules. And she had like, Tice's birthday, and we only had like maybe 5 days to arrange a practice session. We didn't get the chance to practice. And like Luna had GM, and she was busy prepping for that almost every day. So it was really understandably tough for her to find time to prep lineups and play her GM matches,
Hmm.
and also like practice with us or me. And then Krip is Krip, like I've said before, and is very busy, very important man, and you know,
Yeah.
probably not necessarily a high priority for him to have a
Yeah,
practice
and
sesh with
having
us.
schedules aligned for sure, trying to like match up days and times. Um,
Yeah, so we didn't get to practice. We had no strategy going in. Um,
just play some
and our
pigs.
Yeah, and our team communication was really lacking. So that was tough because I think that like I had a certain mindset of working as a team, and that wasn't necessarily shared by my teammates.
Hmm.
Not not intentionally, but just because.
Because of the barriers, right? There's like
Yeah,
time zones and
exactly.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's understandable. Because yeah, if you look at other teams, because you're like a full-time Battleground streamer, right? That's
Mhm.
mainly what you do. And other people have other priorities and things they work on as
Yeah.
well. Like you said, the GM matches of Luna and stuff like that. Well, other teams, yeah, were just full Battlegrounds, so they're all full
Yeah.
try-hard mode. So it's
Yeah, or
understandable.
maybe already knew each other, or
Yeah.
like
But so that was
but
the Battlegrounds Brawl, right? It was a lot of fun to watch. Like I think it was one of the best events they've done in a while. Um,
good.
and what do you think about the future of Bat? Like, do you think they're gonna do more stuff like this? Do you feel like this is a push in the right direction that they're gonna keep heading towards? Or
I just saw a tweet response from Ixar. I could probably find it and send it to you, but he said something like, the question was like, does the Hearthstone team um regret, or how does the Hearthstone team feel about the decision to uh make Battlegrounds one of the modes that they're focusing on, which I thought was kind of a not really a real question, or it's like a weird question, but
yeah,
Xan's response was that yeah, I was like, what is this person asking? But his response was that they think it was a great decision to add Battlegrounds, and that Hearthstone would not be nearly as popular without Battlegrounds,
yeah,
and
a crazy thing that they
that's what he
said.
said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said that if you would have Battlegrounds as a separate game on Steam, it would it would be amongst the top 10 games played and
Hmm.
downloaded on Steam. That's how much people play Battlegrounds. And I have multiple people also come in my chat and tell me that they just started playing Battlegrounds because a friend told them about it. They just downloaded Hearthstone only to play Battlegrounds and they're new to the
Right.
game. It's kind of crazy how it's almost becoming like the main mode. So I am
Hmm.
optimistic that they might do a tournaments soon in the future because they're also hiring like new people for esports in Hearthstone. I've seen like I feel like they're finally seeing the potential. I hope. So maybe it takes a year, but I'll be waiting here for a year.
Yeah, for sure. I do hope that it's done sooner rather than later, because I mean interest is already falling off.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, there are still people that have never heard of the game. But at the same time, there are people that have given up on it already.
Yeah, that's
So you don't
sad.
really want that.
Although there's a lot of standard players coming to Battlegrounds. I've seen a lot of people getting into it.
Yeah, I saw you coaching
Ox, yeah,
someone.
Liquid
Oh yeah,
Ox. But
yeah.
there's also other like GMs, and for example, Orange, for example, is playing a lot of Battlegrounds as well recently, and some other good
Yeah.
standard players. Feel like they're seeing that they might have to diversify their portfolio. What a fancy way to put
Mhm.
playing a different game.
Right? I mean, and that's not really even diversifying since it's still
Yeah, it's
all
still
Hearthstone. But
Hearthstone. Yeah.
I think that up until now, they have looked at Battlegrounds as just a way to get people opening the Hearthstone app, and from there maybe going back to
As
standard or going
as
to
a
standard.
casual mode, yeah. It's because they have like no monetization besides the perks, right? They make no or
Mhm.
barely money off battle.
Right.
Well, people have been suggesting so many good ways to monetize Battlegrounds without making it pay to win, like
Yeah.
pay to win, like cosmetics, different boards, different emotes. Like, come on, Blizzard! There's so much money there that you can put into
I
esports. Then
know. Well, XR said they are working on more cosmetics, but that they were a ways away.
yeah,
So.
yeah, I saw that, and that they are like expanding their team for Battlegrounds, but that they will, or that it will take a year before they take it more seriously, or do like more stuff for Battlegrounds. Seems like
Which is
everything
kind
goes
of
so
understandable
slow.
though, because they want to get data on how popular it is, and
That's fair, but it's been a year and a half.
it has, yeah. It's been a while, yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah, tournaments, I think that's a hot topic that I bring up every single time I do this because I just, I
But
need tournaments.
I don't know how they do it. I mean, their production team, that's how they're able to do it on Play Hearthstone. But third-party tournaments are so difficult to do because of the spectate system.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's really hard to work with. So if those were to increase, I don't see that happening. I don't see third-party tournaments increasing because of that, solely because
Yeah,
of
that kind
that.
of. There was a big one, right? Like a year ago or half a year ago. I don't remember
Yeah,
which one
that
it
was
was.
WSOE, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, was it? There was another one that I tried to participate in.
I think the
Was it?
biggest one was WSOE. Yeah.
Wait, that was invite only though, right? WSOE?
No, it had a qualifier, which
Oh, okay, yeah,
I
it's
played
probably.
with Collins,
Oh wait,
and
it's a
like Hoppa
team.
Bear made it in with, yeah, it was
Oh
team.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was,
I remember. Yeah, I'm stupid. Okay, yes, that was the tournament I was talking about.
yeah, I thought so, but they did have invited players. Yeah, they had like half invited players
Oh
for the
yeah,
finals,
true.
and then they
Yeah,
had like half qualifier
now
spots.
I remember, and I got 17th twice. Paper
Ugh,
hands.
yeah.
Yeah, I wish there were more like indeed, like you said, tournaments organized by other people, bigger tournaments with like I have wanted to do a massive like a tournament that was properly produced. Like I put so much time into it already, but it's just almost not possible because the client doesn't allow
Yeah,
it. Like you as
right.
well had someone like spectate someone else, and then screen
I
share
have the
via
most
like
ghetto,
with
like
Discord.
jank
Yeah,
setup.
as long as it works, right?
Yeah, the F2K setup was really nice, and I wanted to
Oh
use
yeah,
that for
that
my
was
Moon
good.
Coin tournaments, and like, F2K said that I could, but it's actually still just a whole thing because you have to go into the back end of this website, and then you have to basically prep each player on how to do it, and especially
Oh
if you
damn.
have like people you don't know or people that qualified that are kind of random. It's just too much work to get them to like show up early, connect their camera, make sure everything's fine.
Yeah.
So it's like a big hassle as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I guess that is there anything else you want to add to the tournament talk or?
Well, I mean, yeah, okay. If you
Okay.
don't know, I got I got last place in the whole tournament. I got 0 points, so just get that out of the way. But I don't want to make excuses. It is funny, but I did get team killed in 3 games. Um and I also we were behind, and I just realized that I had to go for first, or I had to go for first every game, you know what I mean?
High
So I
rolls,
sort of
yeah.
had, yeah, I had to try to make myself high roll, like put myself in a spot to high roll. And that made it so that I frequently would get killed by a team that was coordinating on their turns. And then I would get them when they were power spiking or
Yeah.
whatever.
Wait, I think I remember your
So
last game. Last game you were in first the entire
oh,
time, and then
oh my gosh.
I think you barely got fifth, and fifth is 0 points as well, which is kind of
I got
dumb,
fifth
right?
literally every game that I didn't. I got team killed 3 games, and all the other games I got fifth,
Oh
I
my
think.
god. Okay, that's
Yeah.
okay. I feel the pain.
Yeah, and fifth, right. I do think the point structure was I think they should have put extended points a little bit farther, because fifth is a big difference from eighth. I mean, I
Yeah.
know on ladder you lose MMR, but it still means you probably survived at least 3 more turns.
Yeah, maybe they did that because they
So
want to like incentivize high rolls. Like they want people to do
yeah.
crazy builds and like
Yeah.
put crazy stuff out there, like a turn 6 Charlga.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Which, I tried for it, but it obviously doesn't work out. And if you don't have that's where the team structure came in, because the teammate
Yeah, they help
could and
or
should
enable.
enable that. Yeah, exactly. Which, if you take damage on the turns you're power leveling from your teammate, there's like no way it's
Uh,
gonna happen. Um, but yeah, so I kept getting fifth. I got so many fifths. Actually, fifth is just by far my average in this meta right now. I'm not, but
It's not too much
yeah,
MMR loss, right? That's like that
no,
MMR game. Yeah.
yeah, I always kind of do more. I do worse at the beginning of a meta, and then
I think
I
most
think people
people.
are just people are playing more randomly. People are more unpredictable, and then once you sort of see patterns, like patterns start to emerge in people's play, then it's easier to,
Yeah, you know what to
rise
expect.
above that. Yeah, so just kind of waiting for it to settle down and for that to happen.
Yeah,
And
I
start
love the start of a
climbing
meta
again.
because then I'm exactly the player that you're describing at the start of a meta. I do random shit and I try a lot of stuff out. Sometimes I get 8, sometimes I get first because people won't see it
Yeah.
coming. So I guess
Yeah,
I'm.
which is totally fine, but I think that usually the eights balance out the first, or for me at least.
Average I get 4th, 5th then as well. I just get 1st and 8th places instead of just strict 5th
right,
every
but
game.
then don't you lose more for 8th than you get for first?
Yes.
I do.
Yes, we
You
were
end up
talking about that.
negative.
Yeah. Yeah, I end up
But
negative at the start most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, so
But pigs
don't
as
know.
well. When Quilboars were released, oh god, that was such a big hit into my gut. And then once you understood just force Quilboars, I just forced Quilboars all day, like 10 hours straight, and I just climbed like 500 MMR because it was still the MMR reset.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, I eventually figured that out too. I was like, okay, it's just not worth going for any other team.
Yeah. Luckily that changed, so thank God.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Last but not least, let's talk about like segue into the MMR reset then. Did you think they did a good job on the MMR reset this time, or not?
Dude, I don't know because it's so hard to tell because I have no idea. We have no idea what our internal MMRs are.
Yeah,
and like
I wish you could see it. Like,
yeah, same. Because I would be like, oh well, this account's screwed or something. Let me do a different one. But like, I have multiple accounts that I guess I have 2 EU accounts. One was like I think it was like 12.2 or 12.4, and the other one was 13.6 before the reset. And on the 13K one, I haven't played yet because I'm not trying to ruin it, and I wanted to know the meta more. So I haven't even touched that one yet. But on the 12.6 one, I started losing the bonus when I got to like 7K. And
I was at
I felt
7.5 when I started losing the bonus, I think.
yeah, and I was like, okay, but then I was watching Dog getting 100 points for like second and third on 8.5K. And I was like, that's still a huge difference because I'm getting 80 points and I'm 7K and he's 8.5.
Yeah, I wish you could like look into the hidden MMR and how exactly it works. Like we kind of know how it works, but at the same time, there's like so much going on, so much random that you don't know. Because I think how it works is if your MMR is above, your hidden MMR is above your visible, that you get a buff, like a bonus. But if it's below, that the reverse happens. But we don't know how much we gain, right, on our hidden MMR or lose, or do we?
Right, no. And we don't know if it's based on other people's in the lobby, and we don't know if it's based on win streaks or loss streaks, and we don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We don't know anything, right?
It's been so frustrating. Like I said, it had a lot of visual resets where everyone just went to 0, but that literally doesn't do anything because people just have their hidden MMR. So that's just bullshit again.
You know what it does? It just creates more of a hype train for the people that were already at the top because they're able to get back there so
and grind
fast,
again,
and
yeah.
then it just means like, oh, they're so good because but it's also just perpetuates itself in a way.
Yeah, it's to like keep things fresh in a way, even though nothing changes. But I was happy to find her a hidden MMR reset, even though it was just to 8K, which I think
it wasn't
fine.
even a reset though. This actually was very confusing, and that's not exactly what it was. Because one of the devs clarified that it was actually a renormalization along a bell curve, meaning that not everybody just got hard reset back to 8K if you were above it, which is what we all thought before. But he just said renormalization and bell curve and like didn't explain exactly. So it was kind of, in my opinion, like it was just all probably shifted down a bit, the curve, right? So that would mean you still have outliers because the bell curve peaks in the middle usually. And then you have outliers on the top and outliers on the bottom. And those people are still there and they're still there. They just got, everyone just got shifted back a bit. is what I
So
think after
if
reading his clarification, which in that case doesn't do anything.
yeah, so people who were 8K are never as close to the people who are 14K,
No.
for example, with reset,
Right.
because they just get shifted down
Yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
god, now things make sense, because I remember
Yeah.
queuing, like, starting up right after the reset happened and the Quilboars were released, and I kept facing lobbies with like the top people. I had my first lobby was with Shady Bunny, and then like
Yeah,
2
same.
or 3 more like super big names. I was like, Jesus Christ,
Mhm.
how is this possible? Because all the 8K people should be in these lobbies as well, right?
Nope.
No,
Yep.
yeah.
I face the same thing. I'd be facing like XQN and like Dog
Oh,
and
okay.
people
Now
were
everything makes sense. That's so stupid.
so
Oh.
in the end actually changed nothing once again, I believe.
Okay. Would you like a very hard MMR reset though? Like everyone to 0. Is that something that you would like to see or not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Because I mean, the game was released in beta, and it was released with like an unequal aspect in that some people had access before others, and
It's so
some
beta.
people had. Yeah, and it's still in beta. I mean, at the very least, they should take it out of beta and reset it when that happens. I
Yeah,
think.
that's what I like to see. I'm just
I don't think
scared.
anyone will care. If you're a grinder, you're not gonna really care.
Yeah,
are
that's
you?
true. If you're a grind, I mean, if you're good, if you made it to the top, you're gonna get
Yeah,
back to the top for
you're just
sure.
gonna get there. Exactly.
Exactly.
But it's just gonna be easier for, I mean, other people who didn't. I mean, they might feel like they have a better chance, whether they do or not, because of. I mean, obviously, good players are still gonna get there, but.
The main thing I'm scared of is just the shit show it's going to be at the start with all the top people and the worst people in the same lobbies. Like, I'm scared that that's going to be so unbalanced. Like, the top people are just going to smurf on everyone, and then the people that were like Hearthstone 3K are just going to cry. No?
But I think that, like, when you start ladder at rank 5, it's always much easier than when you get to top legend. And I think that's fine.
I would have to think more about it, because I have mixed opinions for multiple reasons, right? But I would like to see something better.
It should be easier for you to pass lower ranks if you're better at a game, of course.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
that's just a given.
I think everyone on leaderboard would be back on the leaderboard probably. It would just take a lot longer.
If there's so many people, like Battlegrounds top 10 game on Steam, that's a lot of people. A lot of people are playing, so really new players and players that are more casual, they're not going to be facing someone from the top 200 every game anyway. Maybe once in a while they might, and sure, they might get wrecked in those games, but most of the time they won't be. And I think that if it was reset every month and it just worked a little bit more like our constructed rank system, I think that would be better, because I mean, they did put rank floors in it already with the quote unquote reset. Now we have rank floors. I don't know if you noticed,
Right.
but
Yeah. I've not noticed, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that a system like that, resetting on a set date, we know when it's going to reset. Maybe if you reach the top 200, you only get reset back to 8K or whatever, and you just start there. That's fine, I think.
Yeah, like standard, right? You're basing off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or like how Overwatch does, for example, or other shooters like Valorant. You still have your internal MMR, but it's like much more swingy. You have to do like placement games, and depending on how those placement games go, you get put into somewhere close to your rank, but either a lot higher or a lot lower.
I think it's hard to do placement games with Battlegrounds because of the hero variation and stuff. But I don't think that, like, if you start an account and you don't really know the game yet and you make a lot of mistakes and you're learning and improving, and we don't know how much the internal MMR is going to change after the initial like 10 games or 20 games. Is that going to be like determining your rate of gain and loss for the whole life of your account? Like, because you can improve in school and skill. And if you are never getting to the point where you're getting as much per win as people who've been good from the start, then you will never get to a high rank. And that's sort of a bummer, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. I would like to see it to see what happens. I'm just unsure about what's actually going to happen. Because I feel like we can expect something to happen, but that might not be the reality, right? We can just predict.
Yep, we can just hope.
But they should do something different. That's the key takeaway.
Yep, I think so too.
Okay. I think that was almost everything that I had written down. I don't know if there's anything else you want to spit at me or at the people listening or watching.
I'm thinking. I don't know. Check out my tournaments. That's really what I want to promote my tournaments because I'd like to see more players, different players. Kind of want to grow the tournament community. We've been having a pretty good sign up turnout, usually between
that's hype. That's nice.
Between 20 and 35-ish. But it would be cool to do a larger multiple day tournament and get like,
ooh, that'd be sick.
Yeah, a bunch of 64 signups or something. So check it out.
And don't just check out the tournaments, but check out Nicholena. Links on Twitch. You stream every day? You stream a lot.
Well, yeah, I try to, but lately I haven't been doing every day. I've been doing some YouTube stuff and
the YouTube also down below.
Yeah.
She also does guides and stuff like that. Very like so many people in here actually comment or in my streams tell me about your content, to check it out. I'm like, yeah, I know Nicholena.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I hear the same about you, of course.
Pog.
Your videos are great and your viewers know that, so I don't have to tell them.
Anyway, thank you for popping in. It took a while because of the schedules being all over the place, but I'm happy that you made it. Yeah.
Yeah, my schedule's so awful, so I do stream, but it might not be at a specific time every day. I'm not good at that.
I've tried it as well. It's so hard. It's so hard.
It's so hard.
Because
it's not for me. Right.
Yeah. Thanks again, guys.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Happy to be here. It was fun.
All right. Take care. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, let us know what you thought down below. All that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one.